Hey there, Savvy Premeds. The biggest mistake students make in choosing medical schools is what I call the shotgun approach. They take their GPA and MCAT and figure out a range of about 30 schools that match or closely match the GPA and MCAT and send off their application broadly. This is a huge problem, and if you do that, you're going to be less likely to get into med school. Here's why. Number one, you're missing a bunch of factors that medical schools consider that actually make them different. There's not a bunch, but there's at least enough that you need to know what they are. Number two, by distracting yourself by applying so broadly, you won't be able to pay the right time and attention to the schools you actually want to go to and give them the follow-up and time of day that makes you get that interview. So what are these factors that you need to know about medical schools to help make sure you get in? So the first thing would be, do start with your GPA and MCAT. That's perfectly okay, but don't stop there. The next thing is, what med schools do you have ties to? Maybe you went to undergrad there. Maybe this is a school that has from the state where you live or a state where you have lived. Maybe your parents went to school there. Whatever the ties to the med school, those should go on your list because they make them a reason, give them a reason that you would choose them over any other medical school. The second consideration would be geography. Where do you want to live? Where do you have family? Any med schools near there should be on your list. The next consideration would be, do med schools take in-state students only, or do they consider out-of-state students? How big is the preference for in-state students? So some med schools will not consider you if you're out-of-state, and you'll often miss that. So you need to look at the application numbers on the MSAR to figure out which schools are actually open to your application. Here's a tip: private schools are always open to out-of-state students. The next one would be, how research-oriented is the school and how research-oriented are you? You might look at the U.S. News and World Report rankings of the research of the medical school. You might look at whether they require a research thesis of their medical students, and then consider your research background and how gung-ho you are about doing research in medical school. You might also consider anything that's unique about the curriculum. Maybe they have a dual degree you're interested in, or maybe they have these medical school tracks like a global health track or a medical teaching track that would match your background. If you do, find the schools with it and then apply there. The last consideration would be, some of these med schools truly have unique missions. Some are Christian, some are military-based, some focus on urban underserved populations, and if you don't match those missions, you're toast. So those would be the things that, through process of elimination, you can winnow that school list from the broad 145 med schools down to the, say, 20 to 25 that are really the best for you. It'll help save you time and energy and focus on the schools where you actually have the best shot. Good luck.